Hey folks, thanks for checking out this video. Robert the narrator here. I thought I'd come on to talk a little bit more about my high fantasy TTRPG, Peace the RPG. Now, I have to admit, I love character background and goals and even flaws. Whenever I play, whether I'm a player or whether I'm the GM, I make sure that all of my characters have backgrounds and goals. And I always play them as if they were living, breathing individuals in the world that the game is occurring in. And I wanted to add some of that to my tabletop role-playing game Peace. I already talked about the two mechanics or statistics called drive and connection that are part of the hero creation process. I'll put a little thing up here where you can check out that video. But in brief, the way I try to encourage player characters in the game to add some character to their characters is part of the hero creation process, giving their character a drive, which is a goal that they want to accomplish or in a belief they have, and connection to establish a connection with one other player character in the group. The other way that I encourage player characters to really immerse themselves in the world and to feel like a real part of the world is making the process of understanding the world really easy and user-friendly, I guess you could say. I'm going to be honest with you. I am not one of those players or GMs who love to read page after page after page of world history and background. And I know that there are a lot of people out there who feel the same way. And it's kind of a double-edged sword, because if I am looking to learn a new role-playing game and it has tons and tons of world history, I feel guilty if I don't read it, and it really makes me feel bad. So even when I play games that have all of this world history available to read, it makes me feel bad because I don't want to read it. But on the other hand, I feel like I have to read it to understand the world, especially if I'm the game master, because if someone who really loves the setting and the world sits down at my table and they know more than I do, it really makes me feel horrible. So I wanted to avoid all of that. And the way that I did that, the combination of encouraging players to understand the world and immerse themselves in the world, but not having a ton of background, is in the basic edition of the game, there is a calendar that starts from the creation of the world to present day. And that calendar, each entry is far less than a paragraph. It's probably 2 or 3 sentences of what occurred in that time period. And it covers 2 pages, and it's only 2 pages because of the layout of the book. The entire calendar wasn't able to fit on 1 page. So it's the world, the entire history of the world, not including small details like organizations, but just bullet points essentially of the background and history of the world. Really bite-sized, really easy to get into. The second thing that I did outside of world history and drive and connection, which you can check out that video that I put up there, is each one of the major nations, locales, or cities in the world are on a 1-page layout. And at the top of the page, that nation or culture or city has its drives listed. At the top of the page, I list the basic drive of the government and the peoples. To give you an example, one of the main cities in the setting is a city called Thrill. At the top of Thrill's layout, you'll see the drives of the city listed. And the 3 drives for the city of Thrill is take advantage of the weak, gain wealth, and gain power. So generally, if you are an individual from Thrill, you have been raised in that type of society that believes in taking advantage of the weak and gaining wealth and gaining power. So that gives you a great idea of what a person from that city may be like. So your players, if you were to check out the game and make heroes for the game and play it, your players could go to the different nations or cultures of the world, read one sentence at the top, and get a fantastic understanding of what an individual from that culture or nation or city would be like. Super simple, super easy, really a no-brainer. And I think that encourages players to want to immerse themselves in the world and feel like they actually are a member of the society to which they are supposed to belong. Now, of course, not everyone enjoys playing their characters as a living, breathing individual that actually exists in the setting of the game. But during the hero creation process, if your players consent to give their character a drive and connection, because I know some players like to develop their character's personality during play, if they consent to do so, at the very least, if they are the type of player who loves to play tactically and not really play applying their heroes' goals to the decisions that they make, but make more tactical based decisions, they at least have told the GM what kind of games they want to play. Because when a player chooses their drive, the player is obviously going to play going to choose something that they would like to play. So for example, if they choose the drive values loyalty, when the GM tests the character's loyalty or puts forward scenarios that talk about keeping your word to allies and so forth, the player is really going to love that, because I think you can be you can be pretty sure that a player is not going to choose his character to be driven by something that he doesn't want to encounter in the game. So those ideas can even be useful for players who don't like to immerse themselves in their characters or in the world. So please, you'll find the PDF of the basic edition of Peace the RPG in the description below. And if you go to the master section and check out the game world, you'll see how really easy it is to choose a location, a culture, or a nation for a character to be from. And it really makes it easy for you to add some meat to the bones of those heroes or player characters in your game, because I love it, and I think a lot of players will. And at the very least, those things will help the game master know what type of game you want to play. And I thought that was very important for the game, and it always is important to me for whatever game I'm playing. So thanks for checking out this video. Go out there and make some characters with a little character built into them. Talk to you later.